The play of fools. When the mask falls, step right up to the grand circus of humanity, where the spotlights blaze on masked clowns strutting across a stage built on power and lies. Heh, check this out. They crafted a perfect star, an alpha clown, forged in the flames of ambition and the steel of ego, fed toxic whispers that only the strong survive. He storms in, grin sharp as a razor, muscles pumped with testosterone, ready to crush anything to prove he's the king of this sideshow. But oh man, they miss something. A wild card who doesn't play by the script. Someone who needs no mask, no blade, just a piercing gaze that shakes the whole circus to its core. Ever wonder what happens when a juggernaut of domination crashes into a soul that can't be tamed? When a clown trained to destroy meets a smile that won't fade. Grab a seat, 'cause this show's about to kick off, and it won't end the way you think. The alpha clown and the circus of power. In this madhouse of a society, he was the headliner, molded from the molten fire of ambition and the iron of ego. The invisible directors of this power game sculpted him into a perfect war machine. Picture this. An alpha clown, muscles jacked, eyes sharp as knives, brain stuffed with anthems of victory and domination. They fed him Survival of the Fittest podcasts for breakfast, drowned him in synthetic testosterone, and drilled into him that kindness is a wound, empathy a slow death. Every step he took was a declaration, every word a jab, every moment a chance to cement his spot at the top of the social food chain. He wasn't a man. He was a living script, written by the puppeteers behind the curtain, chuckling as he played the king of the circus. This society, man oh man, is one cruel director, weaving clowns like him to keep everyone in line, reminding us that in this circus, you either crush or get crushed. 2. The silent showdown. Then he met you, and that's when the stage started to quake. He strutted in, owning the room like he owned the air you breathe. Chest puffed out, eyes scanning for weakness, his smile cutting like a blade, ready to slice you to pieces. The audience, the other circus freaks, held their breath, waiting for the domination show to begin. But you didn't play. You stood there, no knife, no gun, just a gaze like a mirror, reflecting everything he tried to hide. He hurled spears of power, sly put-downs, aggressive body language, finely tuned psychological tricks, but they sailed through you like wind through an open field. You didn't fight, didn't fold, didn't join his clown act. You just were, like a poem without words, turning his weapons into a joke. Hilarious, right? He was hunting for a victim, but you were a puzzle he couldn't crack, a smile he couldn't erase. And that's when his machine started creaking, like a circus tent about to collapse. 3. Cracks in the mask. He couldn't wrap his head around it. Night after night, in the dark, he replayed every moment with you, searching for the trick, the strategy, the hidden agenda. In his world, everyone had a script, predator or prey, king or loser. But you didn't act. You were just you, authentic, calm, happy in a way that baffled him. Happy, not the manic rush of conquest, not the fleeting high of domination, but a quiet contentment, like a steady flame burning in your chest. By his script, you should have been miserable. You weren't climbing ladders, crushing enemies, or building empires. Yet you were happier than him, even though he had it all. Money, status, power. He stood among his trophies, but they were just hollow masks, doing nothing to hide the loneliness gnawing at him. He tried doubling down, getting louder, meaner, more alpha, but every punch only cracked his mask further, revealing the confused eyes of a clown who no longer knew who he was. 4. The journey to drop the mask, and then, in his confusion, he started asking questions. Why weren't you scared? Why didn't you need a mask? He secretly dug for answers, flipping through books he once mocked. Philosophy, psychology, stuff about hearts and souls. Talk about irony. The clown who sneered at weakness was now sitting cross-legged, munching on kale, wondering if he'd been the fool all along. He discovered new ideas, emotional intelligence, healing, the real person buried under the alpha armor. He ditched the testosterone shots that made him rage, the workouts meant to intimidate, the conversations that were just ego battles. He tried going vegan, not because you forced him, but because he was curious about how you lived in harmony with the world. And boom, his body responded with new energy. His mind cleared, as if saying no to violence helped him stop creating it. He shed the armor, revealing a heart that beat strong, fragile but alive, wounded but free. He was no longer the circus clown. He was a man, feeling truly alive for the first time. 4. The journey to drop the mask, and then, in his confusion, he started asking questions. Why weren't you scared? Why didn't you need a mask? He secretly dug for answers, flipping through books he once mocked. Philosophy, psychology, stuff about hearts and souls. Talk about irony. The clown who sneered at weakness was now sitting cross-legged, munching on kale, wondering if he'd been the fool all along. He discovered new ideas, emotional intelligence, healing, the real person buried under the alpha armor. He ditched the testosterone shots that made him rage, the workouts meant to intimidate, the conversations that were just ego battles. He tried going vegan, not because you forced him, but because he was curious about how you lived in harmony with the world. And boom, his body responded with new energy. His mind cleared, as if saying no to violence helped him stop creating it. He shed the armor, revealing a heart that beat strong, fragile but alive, wounded but free. He was no longer the circus clown. He was a man, feeling truly alive for the first time. 5. Your role. The circus wrecker. You, you're the nightmare of this circus. No guns, no bombs. Just a look and a sincerity that made the whole stage forget its lines. You treated everyone the same, CEOs and janitors, beauty queens and street vendors, as if the circus's pecking order didn't exist. He tried to cast you as prey, but you just looked at him, like you saw a person worth saving beneath the glitzy mask. One night, in a rundown 24-hour diner, he came to you, not to fight, but to find answers. "Why aren't you scared of me?" he asked, voice choking like his throat was fighting the truth. You smiled, not smug, not pitying, just knowing. "You're not my enemy," you said. "You're just a clown lost in your own circus." Boom! Those words were a grenade, blasting through his last layer of armor. You didn't comfort or fix him. You just gave him space to face himself. A scared kid. A man desperate to live authentically. 6. The outcome of the play. He changed, not overnight, but through slow, painful steps. He redefined strength, not domination, but contribution, not winning, but growing. He didn't need to win anymore because he'd found himself. His old crew, the other clowns in the circus, screamed, called him a traitor, weak, ruined by you. Ha ha, they didn't see that he wasn't ruined. He was born. They were too busy clutching their own masks, terrified of looking in the mirror and seeing the truth. A year later, at the same party where he once ruled the stage, he returned, not as the alpha clown, but as a confident, authentic man. The others circled, confused, because he wasn't playing their game anymore. He walked up to you, no swagger, just gratitude. "Thank you," he said, 2 simple words carrying a whole world. His play was over, and a man had risen from the ashes. And so, in the wild circus of humanity, one clown dared to drop his mask. From a machine of domination, drowning in the spotlight of fake power, he stepped out of the script and found a real man, fragile, scarred, but more alive than ever. You didn't drag him out of his prison. You were just a mirror, reflecting the truth he was too scared to face. You stood there, no knife, no gun, just raw honesty. And that was enough to shake the whole circus. In a world where everyone scrambles to wear a mask, the strongest aren't the clowns who shout the loudest or swing the sharpest blade, but those who dare to live true, to love, to let their heart beat without armor. Man, oh man, you're the circus's nightmare, but also the light it's starving for. So, who are you gonna be? Another clown stuck in someone else's script, or the wrecker who brings the stage down? Thank you for reminding us that sometimes just being yourself can rewrite the whole damn play. The curtain's closed, but the question lingers. Will you choose the mask or the real you?